Evan Ferguson is travelling from sunny Brighton, well, probably to the equally sunny East London today. It don't look too bad, the weather today, does it? He's going to complete his transfer to West Ham. It's a loan deal, no obligation, no option to buy. That's the headline of it. If that's all you're here for, you can go now. We'll start to get into a little bit more opinion on it. I've not had a massive opportunity to gauge opinion on this deal. It's been really interesting. The last few days, the club have gone, I'd say for the last week, the club have gone radio silent. Radio silent. Almost the only thing that they've really made any comment on really is on the couple of things with Ben Rama and Sonny Perkins, but nothing to do with anyone we are actively chasing or targeting. And that's all changed today. So you could almost sense that the club were desperate to deliver some good news, and obviously this is it. Now, it's going to be received in one of three ways. I guess some people don't want Evan Ferguson, and those that do, some would have wanted him just on loan, which is where I'm coming from, as I'll explain in a minute. Some would have preferred the obligation or the option to buy. I think this works for all parties, for the reasons that I said the other day. The risk involved with West Ham in just doing this loan deal was that if he comes and he does really, really well, and he doesn't look remotely injured and nothing happens and he bangs in a load of goals, then I think you're no longer looking at a £40 million player, right? It may well be the case of if we want to get him back, then it's going to cost us a lot more than that. I think the other thing to bear in mind is, look, Hösler's done nothing, he's done really doing, apart from losing 7-0, Hösler's done nothing wrong at Brighton. It just, at this point in time, he's not doing as well as De Zerbi did at Brighton. And I think bearing in mind the amount of money that they spent in the summer, bearing in mind that you would consider Brighton now really have a squad rather than just a team, they get this young, up-and-coming manager who's meant to be the next big thing. And he might be, by the way. And he's just not... I think the way they started the season, I think the money they spent, that maybe, just maybe, people were thinking Brighton might be top 6. And I guess if you look at it now, you look at maybe how, I know Bournemouth lost yesterday, but you look at how well Bournemouth are doing, and particularly how well Nottingham Forest are doing, they could be forgiven for thinking, maybe we should be doing a little bit better. They're nowhere near getting relegated, but my point is I think expectations are so high that quite possibly, let's say Brighton finish in 13th, what are they going to do? If they replace the manager, it may well be, and they might not, but the new manager comes in and thinks, actually, I want Evan Ferguson. So there's the risk from West Ham's part there. And, it could turn out we might look back and think, damn, we should have got this guy for 40 million when we could have done. But that'll be hindsight by then. I don't mind us for doing it this way, because obviously the risk for Brighton, with the transfer just being a loan deal, is that he comes to West Ham, he doesn't do well, and or he gets injured, and then of course that's it. They really don't have much of an asset on their hands at all. They're going to have to rebuild him up or send him out on loan again. I think any way this transfer was going to be played out was going to have risk, and I also think I want to say, having spent most of the transfer window criticising West Ham's negotiating, saying there's no such thing as a negotiating team. We don't have one at the moment. We really, really don't. I'm not going to change my tune now just because we're about to sign a player. David Sullivan has not been doing really negotiations in this transfer window. We've hired third parties to conduct transfer bids for John Duran and, of course, Angel Gomez. Karen Brady's been doing some negotiating as well. We've obviously brought in Carl McCauley, and Carl McCauley is just not a negotiator. He's a data analyst who's basically gone up to identification of players and player recruitment, but he's not the guy that's going to go and sit down and negotiate with a player's agents and another club. So we've obviously got this deal over the line. I don't know who's done it. It might have been Karen Brady. So well done, because not only do we get this deal over the line, just put aside for a second which one you'd prefer, whether you would prefer a loan deal or whether you'd prefer the obligation or the straight transfer. What West Ham wanted, we definitely just wanted the loan. So we've gone into these negotiations, we've got what we wanted. As I understand it, it is we're covering his wages. His wages aren't massive. His wages are about 30 grand a week. We're covering his wages. There'll be a loan fee as well. So I think this is the right way to do it. I'm pleased with this as well. It gives us another number in. He obviously won't be fit. He might be fit for the Chelsea game because he came on as a sub, didn't he? There's quite a late sub in their 7-0 loss to to Nottingham Forest, which must have stung. That really must have stung. But he's not eligible. He needs to be registered by noon on the working day before. So the working day before the Chelsea game is obviously Friday. So he needs to be registered by 12 o'clock on Friday. Obviously, that hasn't happened. I mean, truth of the matter is, he's probably going to be doing his medical tomorrow. I doubt we're going to see him holding up a shirt much before... we might even see it on... I mean, that was it much before Tuesday. But anyway, I think it's good news. I'm really, really pleased with this transfer because I think we needed somebody in. But I just wanted us to be cautious. We just could not afford, bearing in mind the way we've been decimated by injury, be it... Mikel Antonio, Nicholas Fulkrug. I know Bowen's coming back now. We just couldn't afford this. And I'm also, I really want Potter to start implementing his vision now. And if, we've got him the player that he wants. We've got a player that wants to come to West Ham, and we've managed to do it without really giving ourselves a massive financial liability, which I think is really good. There are some players who we're still looking to get rid of. That's could be a better way of saying it. But there are some players that we're looking to get out the door, which I'll discuss in just a second. Before I do, can I please point in the direction of today's video sponsor, which is Stocks FC. I've had quite a good weekend on the footballer stock market, if you want. Stocks FC? Well, it's exactly that. It enables you to buy shares in players. And as their value grows, as they perform better, you can make profit on them. Not only that, you can actually make profit on them if they score and they get an assist and they do well, or they get into team of the week. So it's not just there's a little bit of a fantasy football aspect in it as well. But there is also, you've got the aspect of just, I bought Jared Bowen in the hope that he will bought shares in Jared Bowen. Not many. I only spend a couple of quid. That's all I do on this sort of thing. Anyway. So I bought some shares in Jared Bowen. I'm hoping he's going to come back, start to do well. His value will grow, and I'll buy low, sell high. That's all I know about it. Links in the description below. If you use the link in the description or scan that QR code, which will be on your screen now, then you'll actually get, without having to deposit any money, you'll get 5 free cards. You get loan. You get 5 loan players for a month, and whatever they do, you get the money from it. So it gives you an opportunity to sort of learn the game, learn what you're doing before you go and pay any money. And check it out. Links in the description below. I'll be telling you about my progress as the season goes on. I've got in my portfolio, I've got my 5 loan players at the moment, which are. I've got Salah in there, which I've done all right really. And that guy, when he scores those goals, honestly. He just makes it look easy. That second goal that he scored against Bournemouth yesterday was the most Salah goal you're ever going to see. How many of those has he scored? I don't know. It's just a remarkable player. I got Wissa, and I bought shares in Wissa, shares in Jared Bowen. Anyway, links in the description below. That is Stocks FC. Okay, Andy Irving. Andy Irving, we would accept an offer for him, but not a loan offer. So, but apparently we've had 3 loan offers for Andy Irving. So, I mean, that's really interesting in itself that there are teams that are looking at him. But I think maybe we can't have it both ways as a club. I think if we want to construct deals to bring players in that, so we want to have a look at players, like with Evan Ferguson I'm talking about, then maybe we should be doing the same as well with somebody like Irving. The thing is with Irving, I don't think there's any risk. I think Brighton have got risk with it. I don't think there's any risk in Irving. Whatever value you think Irving might be at the moment, it's quite a low value. I don't know necessarily lessons by him going out on loan. I think he can only improve it. So why not? We got some midfielders. We got Orford, who's already made his debut. Come on as a sub. Just have him sat on the bench as the midfielder that you bring on. I'd like to see Irving play, but I just don't think he's going to play. So I send him out on loan. It could be the making of him. It really could. And either we get the making of him, we get a really good player back, or increase his value. I'd do it. I'd get him out on loan. I really would. Guido Rodriguez. I don't see much of a future for him at West Ham. I mean, there's no exclusive there, is there? That's not exclusive news. It is. I just don't think there has been the queue of clubs beating a path to West Ham's door to try and take him off our hands that maybe some might thought there were. It was that this rumoured interest from Real Betis never manifested itself. I got to say, do you remember in the summer we were sort of told that he was close to signing because Xavi was at Barcelona, and then Apparently Xavi really wanted to push the deal through for Rodriguez. That didn't happen. I think Hansi Flick came in, and when Xavi left Barcelona, then the Guido Rodriguez to Barcelona deal broke down. I think I believed it at the time, but because I hadn't seen him play, now I've seen him play, I don't believe he was about to sign for Barcelona. Sorry, probably not watching. He's probably not watching anyway. He's not without his qualities. I just don't think there's much point. So I think the club would probably get rid of him if they could. The Danny Ings stuff. Look, Ings is happy enough at West Ham. He's had opportunities to leave. He had an opportunity to leave in the summer. He doesn't need to leave now. He comes off the bench every now and again. He's not expecting to start. I think there'll be some that might think because Ferguson's come in, maybe Ings will leave. But that maybe will. But and I think the club would be happy to let him go. And well, the club have let it be known they'd be happy to let him go. I just look at it from Ings' point of view. See, your circumstances aren't going to change on a big wage. He can just go and sign for whoever he wants on a free transfer in the summer. So I think he'll do that. As far as his advisor, I'd be advising him to do that as well. So I don't think he's going to go anywhere. But yeah, certainly Evan Ferguson coming into the squad. This is good news. I'm really, really pleased with this. Looking forward to seeing him play. I like him as a player. I really, really like this guy as a player. I do. I just was worried about West Ham committing tens of millions of pounds to somebody whose fitness is just not proven. I look forward to seeing him play. This could, and we'll be in a really nice position. If he comes into West Ham and he scores loads of goals and suddenly he's worth 60, 70 million, then we've had a good little stint out of him. And, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong. We've seen that with Jesse Lingard. There's nothing wrong with a player coming in and performing well. It's only... If that had all Jesse Lingard, if Jesse Lingard had come in and he said, I'm only here for 6 months, I'm going back to Man United, then there was never any rumours about him. He'd never teased, he'd never been doing all of this and the chicken run shop and teasing that he was coming to West Ham. I don't think there would have been a problem. I think we just would have looked back on it as a loan deal quite fondly and been quite pleased with what he did. And I don't think anyone sort of minds that really. So this, a loan deal, let's be fair, Thomas Souček initially came in on a loan deal to West Ham. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with a January loan deal if it goes well. So, looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing him play, although it won't be against Chelsea. I'm going to love you and leave you now. Don't forget, check out the Stocks FC. I'm doing that. I'm not dancing. Looks like I'm dancing. I'm doing that because I don't know where the QR code's going to go. This camera's in reverse when I'm trying to read it out. Check it out. Please do use the link below, though. Number one, they'll know you come from Hammers Chat, so we get a nice pat on the head. They'll say, well done. Number two, you're going to get your 5 bonus players on loan, which will immediately, hopefully, as long as they're not crap, start earning you a little bit of money.